In the prior video in this playlist, we talked about how to use the export as CSV for a list view to get, in this case, we were looking at chart of accounts within the configuration tab of the Sage Financials application. And that's fine as long as this is the information I'm looking for. What I want to do is to talk a little more about list views. And you can tell it's a list view because of this little triangle here that says kind of what is it that you'd like to see within this view. And it's true for pretty much every object has this list view. So it's a great thing to know within Salesforce, and especially how to kind of use the screen and change it. So the first thing to always know is that you can sort fields on the list view. So if we say, okay, I want to instead do it by account number, what this will do is to punch it that way. We're still seeing, in this case, we're seeing 1 of 20 of 230 records. We can always do a sort of that, and we can say, I just want to do a selection, and I want to do look up income. So all the accounts that have to do with income. Didn't have to press carriage return, it just found them and gave me that filter. And what you're seeing now is that I'm seeing there's 22 records that have in this view the word income. And so I can scroll those. But if what I want to do is to see kind of all of them, let me just zap this. And what I'm able to do is to take it back to all 230. And what I do is to click here and down below, and you scroll to it, you'll see it. I can click on 200. That's the max there. And what I'll end up doing is seeing now 200 records, 200 of 230 here. The same way, though, if I go ahead and sort on income, what I'm going to see is now 1 of 22 of the 22. So I get to see all the records, and that's helpful. But then I look at it and say, this format isn't exactly what I want to see in terms of columns. So what I want to do is to change the columns. So in a list view, you can go over here, and there are additional options. Although because this is the standard view, we can't make changes to it. So you can't filter it. So all you can do is to click New, and what that's going to do is to bring up the opportunity to build a new list view. So I'm going to call it just COA1, and then I have the choice of who can see it. Doesn't really matter because I'll show you right here. Once you save that, what it does is calls it COA1. And it basically gives you, it inherits the sort is what it did. Just it clicked over to that, and then if we click here now, we're able to get access to all the list controls because we've built this one. And so we can rename it. We can change the share settings, which is what we just saw on the earlier screen. And then we can also change what filters we use. So which records do we want to see? All the income related records, for example. And I can also select the fields, the columns to display. And that's really important for me because as I look at this, this report kind of wasn't really helpful for me. Everything is United States. So if that's the case, then why would I want to do that? So this way you can actually change the columns. So if you click select here, what it allows you to do is to move columns around. And so if I want to add account class, for example, I can float that across and do kind of whatever makes sense there. But the idea is that you can also then kind of resort these, and it'll change the columns that you're playing with. So here's one, and what you can see here is I have something called a Force 501 view, which I created, which was index and using type name and account class, which didn't show up on the other system. So if I type here income, just so you see it, if I type income, before we got 22, now I'm getting 42. And what you're going to see is that the two columns I added, this included, for example, the word income in the account class, so I picked up additional records. So you want to be careful with some of these account views in terms of the way you use them. Hey, I hope that's helpful, and good luck.